then let's get into merchandising and what you look for and how you treat the categories. Big brands, little brands, high, low, you know, EDLP, Super Saver, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of your business. Two different categories. Breakfast, I can imagine, is like everything under the sun except for eggs, perishable, just grocery.
Dry grocery.
And bread.
Yes.
And frozen, like everything?
Everything.
Ice cream?
Yes. I tried a lot of
So let's talk a little bit about how that, you know, the process, the merchandising process, the review process, what people need to know in those categories to talk to you.
Generally, we follow an annual, we call it a mod set planogram process, and the buyers each have their own timeline of when they launch. So we try to get you in ahead of time to talk through your products, so you'll have plenty of time to integrate you into the planogram. And that's when the conversation happens of how big do we think, assuming we find a product we like and we think it's right and it fits the customer need, then what's the right scale for you? Do we need to start small? Do we need to, can we go to 2,000 stores? Should we go to 4,000 stores? What's that right measure? But I think it's extreme transparency, and then from that understanding, then the buyers start to build the modulars and take into consideration all the data that we have just around customer trends, and in that newer lifestyle, it may do better in the outskirts of the United States, and then hearty breakfast might be, you know, strong in the center or across all of the United States, and then we start to build our modular process around that. Right. But generally, there's a timeline for each buyer that is actually probably a half a year project. So like, for example, ice cream. Yeah. Ice cream will reset in March next year, and so the ice cream buyer is holding meetings in July and probably right into August, and evaluates the product, has the conversations, and then builds the modulars.
And I think it's a great starting point, that understanding what the reset time frame is on the category that you're considering. But the other side of it is that we're talking about how do we become more flexible. There are many opportunities that a buyer might say, I really want to get this item out there and let's learn together. Yeah. Again, we have items that are in 10 stores. And so we can do like a quick test if we're wanting to learn, and then we can adjust throughout that 26-week process. And so I wouldn't just go in, I only go on the modular. You definitely need to connect on that time frame, but also know that there is flexibility within that calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. The Chilled team has done a great job of coming to a show, getting support from suppliers set up, and like launching something in 3 months. And it was a labor of love, and it was painful, but it still was something that we know we have to adapt on, and so we're pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone to be more nimble.
So then there's this inflection point. We're doing business. Things are really good, and I can't make any more product to keep up.
Yeah.
That's one of those like, okay, here we go. How do we manage that inflection point? I
think transparency. If that's the case, we respect it, we understand it, and we might think, gosh, I wish it could go faster, and how can we help you? But if the answer is still, it's going to take me another 8 months, then that's fine. We'd rather do the responsible thing than cause undue cost increases or just all these extra pain points of expense that aren't necessary. And we should just do it the right way together.
So you're not going to kill my brand?
No.
I'm not out?
No.
I got to go like, now what? That's one of those questions. So you're able, through what you just explained, the merchandising strategy and some long-term working together, ease me into a place where I don't lose my spot. I'm still your guy and gal, and we can keep moving along, right? I think that's one of those, like, when we talked about the stories, and you basically cleared that up today, I think it's that inside piece we want to know a little bit about as we get ready to wrap up and speak to everybody.
I think, one, the proof is in the pudding. We can say it, but you only understand it once you live it. And we've got some great examples of like Happy Foodie or Cauliflower Pizza or Nona Lim, where we've done it responsibly. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from each of those. And we've said, okay, thanks for being transparent. You know, it wasn't always the easiest ride, but we were on it together and transparently, and it became a great success.
Sure.
So like cauliflower started in very few stores, and then now it's chain wide, and it's one of our top pizzas. So it's exciting to see the customer is responding to it. The customer wants it, but we have to do it the responsible way.
Sure.
I think it's the myth busting that you're talking about, that ultimately the reputation that we've had for so long is 4,000 stores. You know, I'm gonna have to work with really tough buyers. That's not necessarily the case. What I would tell you is that the center of our business, again, focused on the customer, is built around trust. And trust comes through open communication and transparency. And when we align on something on the front side, and you guys exceed that, and from a sales, that's a great problem for us to have. So just to be clear, if you guys are running out of stock because we're selling so much,
fabulous.
It's a great problem for us to have. But I would tell you that hopefully you understand that we recognize sometimes you have to go slow to go fast. Back to the call of power. Don't feel like I've got to have, you know, that I'm hitting the lottery because I got a Walmart PO. We would rather you say the way that let's be slow and steady to get it to a point where you can maintain your business for a long time and be more sustainable.